How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I think she would be sad. I think she'd be looking at it long term to know that there are certain things that we need to go through to be able to heal the relationship.
Westminster Abbey has staged plenty of royal theater, but the latest grand royal ceremony felt almost cinematic. Trumpeters blasted the Grenadiers' fanfare, scarlet-robed knights marched in 2 by 2, and ancient oaths echoed off tomb-carved walls. Cameras captured every glinting metal, except the one many expected to see. For the first time since the Queen's state funeral, King Charles and Prince William stood shoulder to shoulder in full regalia.
In a new interview with the BBC, Prince Harry opened up about the legal security challenges that are preventing him from reconciling with his estranged dad, King Charles. Take a look.
Of course, some members of my family will never forgive me for writing a book.
While Harry, the only royal who has actually taken enemy fire, streamed the service on a tablet in Montecito. Viewers could almost sense the burn of that exclusion. In a family ruled by symbolism, an empty stall can shout louder than 1,000 tabloids. The Order of the Bath predates the American Revolution. Its knights once soaked overnight, bathed for spiritual purity, before daybreak dubbings. In modern times, the service is held just once every 4 years.
Honestly, the pair of them are just moany, whiny, awful, hypocritical, vile people. They really are. I'm sorry. And every time I've sat on this panel and tried to defend the fact he needs security because of his time in Afghanistan.
This edition doubled as the 300-year anniversary and the first at which Charles appeared as sovereign. Mid-service, the Dean proclaimed William Great Master, handing him the same gold staff Charles had carried since 1975. Royal commentators noted how neatly the baton-passing imagery dovetailed with recent palace briefings about a slimmed-down future crown.
I asked my brother, I said, what are your plans? How are you and Kate getting up there? And then a couple of hours later, all of the family members that live within the Windsor and Ascot area were jumping on a plane together. A plane with 12, 14, maybe 16 seats.
You were not invited on that plane?
I was not invited.
Harry's erasure was therefore no clerical error. It was a message etched in ritual, broadcast live to 42 million viewers across the Commonwealth. For Harry, the Order's origins hit close to home. Its motto, Tria Juncta, in Uno, 3 joined in 1, celebrates unity forged in battle. He earned his own Operational Service Medal on a dusty Helmand airfield. Back in 2018, crowds cheered him at the same abbey when he escorted wounded Invictus athletes to their first royal blessing.
There is a lot of control and ability in my father's hands. Ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him.
Fast forward to 2025, and commentators are writing him out of the military honor chapter entirely. Royal historian Sarah Gristwood told the BBC the snub, weaponized pageantry. It says, "Your sacrifice counts only if you stay obedient." Harry supporters flooded X with service photos under the hashtag #ValorForgotten, arguing that medals shouldn't be political props.
It's unbelievable how she created this whole racial firestorm for the royal family. She sat with Oprah. She clearly injected the issue of race. They were concerned about the color of my baby's skin. Turned out to be BS, among her other racism claims.
Within 6 hours of the broadcast, a YouTube short titled Bath Band Meltdown cracked 1 million views, claiming Harry's urgent request to attend was rejected by palace aides. Royal Watch Facebook pages shared supposed email snippets. Please confirm if HRH requires robe fittings. Whether genuine or not, the clips dominated trending charts. TMZ reported palace sources calling the Duke apoplectic, while Sussex-friendly podcasts insisted the couple had long ago decided the royals would never risk the optics of a smiling three brothers photo op.
You're in America now, and we don't give a shit about you. You're not our fucking prince. You'll never be king. We hate your wife. Stay at home in your $29 million mansion, all right? Stop getting off on the trauma porn of real suffering in Los Angeles.
By nightfall, #GhostedPrince trended in the US and UK, illustrating how an institution skilled at silence can't mute an algorithm built on outrage. Publishing leaks soon lit another fuse. Penguin imprint Viking quietly registered the title, Exiled: What They Tried to Hide, with Books Data UK, listing a November 5th, 2025 release, Bonfire Night, Britain's annual ode to foiled rebellion. Industry insiders told the bookseller that first print orders topped 1.2 million copies, dwarfing even 2023's Spare.
Prince Harry did not one but two sit-down interviews yesterday ahead of the release of his memoir called Spare, which is expected to drop Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Here to help us unpack everything we've learned so far, and there's a lot.
One rogue tweet from a proofreader teased emails that will end friendships. Royal lawyers asked for comment, replied only that any necessary responses will be considered after publication. Translation: the palace won't fire until Harry does, echoing the very never complain, never explain creed that pushed him to write the first memoir in the first place. While pre-orders soared, Harry's legal fortunes cratered. On May 2nd, the Court of Appeal ruled that he cannot buy Metropolitan Police protection even if he offers to foot the bill.
They seem to flip-flop from wanting the titles to very, very, very desperately wanting the titles for their children.
Oh, let's be clear here. I mean, after the birth of Archie, when it was announced his name was Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, you know, all their sort of cheerleaders briefed that they didn't want titles. They didn't want fancy titles. They weren't that kind of royal.
Upholding the Home Office view that armed officers can be deployed only on public interest grounds, not private preference. The judgment forced him to cover 90% of government costs, estimated at more than £500,000, and triggered furious quotes in a BBC doorstep interview. "I served this country. Now it prefers headlines to safety." Critics fired back that security isn't Netflix on demand. Whatever side viewers take, the scene underscored a brutal truth. Harry was fighting the crown in court even as he battled it on bookshelves. Courtiers answered with the same tool Queen Elizabeth II honed for 70 years: disciplined quiet. Under the never complain, never explain banner, dissected endlessly by royal correspondents, the palace issued 0 lines about Harry's book, the lawsuit, or the Bath fallout. Instead, aides leaked word of a proposed family supper at Sandringham in late June. Insiders briefed the Times that the invitation was pastoral, while Sussex-adjacent sources called it a glorified cease and desist. Harry's politely worded decline leaked within hours, repeating the cycle. The firm stays officially mute, but every subtle move becomes a headline, and silence itself morphs into another viral quote. Parallel chatter swirled around Meghan. Hollywood outlet Deadline reported she'd hired powerhouse lit agent Jennifer Joel, fueling guesses of a second memoir aimed squarely at the palace. At the same time, Netflix insiders griped to The Sun that the couple's £85 million deal looked overpriced, citing lukewarm numbers for Heart of Invictus.
I have felt the presence of my mum more so in the last 2 years than I have in the last 30.
Royal loyalists leapt on that statistic to declare profit over principle, even suggesting, without proof, that the late Queen's stress in her final months stemmed partly from Sussex media drama. Fair or not, the narrative stuck, feeding podcasts, TikToks, and late-night punchlines. Each click ensured the Sussex v. Monarchy conflict stayed cemented in pop culture veins. A single unoccupied chair at Westminster Abbey distilled the monarchy's calculation. Public continuity beats private reconciliation. Harry, unwilling to accept the mute role of royal footnote, swapped medals for manuscripts, ceremonies for court filings. As November 5th approaches, Britain braces for fireworks both literal and literary. Will centuries-old silence outrun a prince armed with a pen and a Wi-Fi connection? The only certainty is that millions will tune in to find out, and the side that controls attention today writes tomorrow's history.